lile akusukuthi bona baye batshela amaphoyisa banika amaphoyisa ulwazi futhi abasolwa bona bathi baye baphoqwa ukuthi basayine lezi statement ngemva kokuthi bashawe noma bashayiwe bese bayaphoqwa ukuthi basayine i-statement. Uma siqhubeka ke umsolwa wokuqala yena uthi uye washawa ngemva kokuthi aboshwe eLithabong eThembisa makaqeda wayisiwa eFosloras washawa nakhona ngase phambi kwenkantolo wayisiwa eDiepkloof esiphoyiseni. Mnumzane Ramusipili ke yena uye washo ukuthi umsolwa wokuqala uthe uye washawa ngempama ngemva kokuthi wahlukunyezwa wafakwa futhi uplastiki ebusweni yena bambamba futhi nangezandla zakhe zisemuva ebanjwa amaphoyisa ebekade engakwazi nokuthi aphefumule. Lokho izinto ekuthi ziye zakhulunywa futhi nyakenye ngo-October abofakazi. Bese ke umnumzane uMngomezulu yena uma esho ngaloku khomba okwenziwa umsolwa wokuqala uthi yena uyaphikwa ukuthi umsolwa wokuqala uye wayokhomba ngoba umsolwa wokuqala uthi yena akazange nje ayekhomba ndawo ayikho into aye wayikhomba. Uma siqhubeka nazi ezinye izinto ukuthi uye wazisho ubaba Baloyi ethi abukho ubufakazi obubonisayo ukuthi abasolwa abobabini bona baye balimala. Futhi naye uKennel Mbotho uye weza njengephoyisa elidala libele lisebenza esiphoyiseni lithe lona lelo phoyisa alizange libone impawu zokulimala kuye umsolwa uma eza umsolwa wokuqala kuyena. Futhi uthi akusilona iqiniso ukuthi umsolwa uye washawa ngoba kube umsolwa eshawe ngalendlela le bekade echaze ngayo ngoba umsolwa kunalayi ukuthi uthi imoto iye yamiswa kwaphuma amanye amadoda angaba amahlanu ukuthi abanye abayisishagalombini bebakade basemotweni ithema baphuma bonke baye bamshaya. Manje uKennel Mbotho uthi uma engabe umsolwa wokuqala wayekade eshawe ngalendlela ayichaza ngayo ukuthi ushawe abantu abangaba amashumi nantathu 13 uma bemshaya bebonke labo bantu labo bekwamele ukuthi umsolwa uze kuye ehamba ngeambulance akusukuthi bekazozizela ehambela njengoba ebekade esho uKennel Mbotho ukuthi umsolwa ungene eofisini emthola ehleli kulo lelo office. Futhi uthi umsolwa wekade bekazofika lapha yana eofisini ashawe ebonakala ukuthi ushayiwe yena uKennel Mbotho beyizothi uma ebona ukuthi umsolwa wokuqala ushawe ngaleyo ndlela bekazomisa konke lokhu ebekade ekwamele akwenze yena bekazocala athi umsolwa abonwe odokotela ngaphambi kokuthi angahle azokhuluma naye nakhona bengeke amvumele ukuthi agunyuluke ngemva kokuthi ambona ukuthi umsolwa ulimele ngaleyo ndlela. Uthi ke futhi kuyabonakala nakuyincwadi ezaseveleria esiphoyiseni ukuthi umsolwa wayekade engalimalanga uma kubhalwa phansi umsolwa bathe ufikile eValeria yena ungene eValeria engalimalanga azikho impawu ezibonisayo ukuthi wayekade elimele. NaseDiepkloof khona uma efika umsolwa kuthiwe ufike engalimalanga uKennel Mbotho noKennel Hadebe ekwamaphoyisa bekudala abalibele basebenza esiphoyiseni nabo bathi bahlangene naye umsolwa wokuqala bafika bathi akhumule phezulu bamthatha izithombe ngaphambi kokuthi agunyuluke ukubona ukuthi lo muntu lona akalimalanga na ngaphambi kokuthi angahle agunyuluke. Bese ngemva kokuthi sekagunyulukile nakhona baye bamthatha izithombe ukubonisa ukuthi nabo ngalesikhathi beze bekhuluma naye abazange bamshaye akabanga neempawu zokubonisa ukuthi ulimele. Manje umshushisi uthi ucela ukuthi lobufakazi bakho sibiya bokuthi wena uthi ushayiwe ucela ukuthi buchithwe ngoba azikho impawu nala kubhalwe khona akukho la kubhalwe ukuthi nangu ufike elimele ngaphandle kokuthi nje la ezandleni kwawukade kubonakala ukuthi ulinyazwe ozankosi mhlawumbe isizathu ukuthi bezikade ozankosi beqinile la ezandleni kuwena kodwa nakhona akusiyinto ukuthi bewukade ubonakala ulimele kakhulu bekuwukuthi nje bezikade ziqinisile ukuya ngomsolwa kwesibini ke manje ubufakazi oyikuthi buye ba umnumzana Mngomezulu uma ebuza abofakazi imibuzo yena uye wachaza ukuthi umsolwa ngaphambi kokuthi ayogunyuluka nge-19 zika June uye washawa eyikuthi amaphoyisa abekade bekhona bekade kubuthelezi uJonathan noMabhena ebekade nabo bekhona bemshaya umsolwa wesibini futhi bemchuba umsolwa wesibini njengoba bebalibele bamshaya uMnumzane Mngomezulu uthi njengoba umsolwa wayekade eshawa kanjalo umsolwa wesibini yena ubekade ephambi baye bamthela ngamanzi la phambili emzimbeni ngaleso sikhathi bese ngaleso sikhathi uMnumzane Mngomezulu wayekade ebuza uMnumzane uMkhani imibuzo uMnumzane uMkhani uye wala wathi cha lokho yena uyakuphika ukuthi umsolwa uye washawa futhi wathelwa nangamanzi uye wakuphika futhi kuthiwa kunalento eyasetshenziswa eyogesi yasetshenziswa uMabhena noJonathan ukukushoka ngayo uyiphikile futhi uMnumzane uMkhani uma embuza imibuzo uMnumzane Mngomezulu futhi ke uthi uMnumzane Mngomezulu uma ekhuluma uma ebuza imibuzo uye washo futhi nokuthi njengoba wawukade uthelwe ngamanzi enye into ebekade iyenza ukubonisa ukuthi wena wawukade uhlukunyezwa wena futhi awuzange ukwazi ukubona nokuthi kwenzakalani futhi awubonanga nokuthi ubekade abobani abekade bekushaya uMnumzane uButhelezi yena uye wakuphika nakho lokho njengoba wayekade efakaza uye waphika wathi leyo akulona iqiniso ngoba akusinto eyenzakele njengoba kuthiwa wayekade ekhona ngaleso sikhathi uzebe ushawa uhlukunyezwa ngaleyo ndlela uMnumzane Mngomezulu waphinda futhi wamtshela ngayo lento lebekade ushowukwa ngayo uMnumzane Buthelezi uthe cha leyo nto leyo mina angiyazi angiyibonanga futhi umsolwa akazange eshowukwe ngikhona uma eqhubeka uMnumzane Mngomezulu elibele buza uMnumzane Buthelezi imibuzo uye wamtshela nokuthi amanye amaphoyisa uConstable uJonathan noConstable Mabhena bebakade nabo beyingxenye yalokushawa kwakho umsolwa wesibini uMnumzane Buthelezi yena uye waphika wathi cha lelo akulona iqiniso futhi yena akakwazi lokho kwaqhutshekwa watshelwa futhi nokuthi ukuchubiwa uMnumzane uMkhani wayekade ekhona no uMnumzane uMkhani wayekade ekhona kodwa yena akayenzanga lutho kulokuchubiwa kwakho uthe cha ayi lokho akakwazi nakho ngoba lento ekhulunywayo akulona iqiniso ithema iqhubeka ke uMnumzane Mngomezulu elibele ebuza imibuzo uye washo nokuthi wena ushayiwe futhi ubukade ugcine seyikuthi lokushawa kwakho ushawa ngendlela ukuthi uye wagcina seyikuthi uphuma uyopha ngamakhala nangomlomo ufakazi yena uye waphika wathi cha lokho akakwazi akazange akubone wopha futhi kuye kwaphikisanwa futhi ukuthi kungani ke ithema ufika kumanje ungazange uchaze ukuthi wena uye wopha futhi njengoba bokade uthe wawufake iskipa esimhlophe ivest emhlophe kungani ungazange ubonise ukuthi nako ngichaphazeleke igazi lana ngicela ukuthi ningibonise ningise kwaDokotela noma ngicela ukuvula icala lokuthi ngishayiwe ngishawa amaphoyisa lokho akuzange kushiwo manje ke ummeli umjiyakho kuthiwa wayekade ekhona ngalesikhathi uyogonyuluka phambi komantshi uKronye kodwa awuzange uphike ukuthi lo muntu wayekade ekhona kubufakazi bakho kula uye waphika khona kodwa ngalesi yasikhathi akuzange kuphikiswe ukuthi umjiyakho wayekhona ngoba uNomantshi uye wabhala ukuthi abantu bekade bekhona laphayana bekade kunomlisa obekade efake isudu. Uma kuqhutshekwa kuye kwashiwo futhi nokuthi wena kahle kahle ushawe kusukela nge-16 zikaJuni, akusukuthi ukushawa kwakho kuqale nge-19 zikaJuni. Manje ukuthi kuye kwabonakala ukuthi ingathi abameli kunala ukuthi bayaphikisana noma abakhulumi into eyodwa, ngoba omunye uthe ushawe nge-19, omunye wathi ushawe kusukela nge-16. Uma uqala ukuboshwa uye washawa umnumzana uMkhani ngempama, la ukuthi wena uye wathi ubukade ekushayela ukuthi ubukade ufuna ukuthi akhiphe naye incwadi ebonisayo noma into ebonisayo ukuthi ngempela uyiphoyisa ngalesikhathi nibe nikade nila uhlala khona ePhukeng. Futhi ke kuyabonakala ukuthi lo kuyagonyuluka wena uthe awukusayinanga, kodwa uMantshi uye washo ukuthi umsolo wesibini yena usayine lo kuyagonyuluka ekhona naye uMantshi, ukuthi leyo nto leyo iyabonisa ukuthi kuyaphikisanwa, akusi ubufakazi obuneqiniso, ngoba wena uthe awuyisayinanga, abameli nabo bathi awuyisayinanga, kodwa uMantshi yena uthi uyisayinile ekhona. Wena la uthi uthe usayine, ubosayinela ukuthi wawukade ucela into zokugeza futhi wawukade ucela nokushayela ucingo abakini. Lokho into ukuthi kuyaphikwa, ngoba kuthiwa lesiya statement ngemva kokuthi sibhaliwe uye wasifundelwa, mawuqeda wasisayinda, kuthiwa wawukade wazi ukuthi bowusayinalani wena Ntanzi. uMantshi ke uye weza nalana enkantolo waphana ngobufakazi ukuthi umsolwa wesibini yena uye wazibonakalisa kuumuntu obekade ezilungele ukuthi angakhuluma, wayekade engathukanga, wayekade engasabiswanga, futhi ukhulume ngendlela njengomuntu obekade ezimisele ukukhuluma. Wasonga futhi umnumzane Baloyi ubufakazi bukaDokotela uHlokwe, la ukuthi uDokotela uye washo ukuthi wawukade ungumuntu wokuqala obekade yena emhlola, obekade ebuya ejele ezohlolwa. Futhi uDokotela uye wabuza amaphoyisa ukuthi yini into ekahle kahle kwamele ayihlole. Bamtshela ukuthi kwamele ahlole ukuthi wena wawukade unalo igolide na ezinyweni, futhi yena ugcine seyikuthi uhlola konke njengoba wawukade ulethwe kuyena. Enye into eyukuthi iyamangaza lana ekhulunywe uDokotela futhi iphinde yakhulunywa uMantshi, njengoba wena uthe kuMantshi awuzange ukhulume lutho, nakuDokotela uthe awukhulumanga lutho. uMantshi yena uye wachaza ukuthi thema ikubuza imibuzo ukuthi uyagula noma kunala ulimele khona, wena uye wathi cha awulimalanga ndawo noma awuzange umchazisela ukuthi ulimele. Wachaza futhi wena uMantshi ukuthi uye waba nesifo senhliziyo, la ukuthi uye walimala emsebenzini njengoba wawukade usebenza emayini. Futhi noDokotela naye kwi-report yakhe uyabhala ukuthi wena uye wamtshela ukuthi cha awuguli ndawo, ayikho enye awulimalanga ndawo, into kuphela ukuthi ungathanda ukumchazisela yona ukuthi uke waba nesifo senhliziyo ngalesikhathi usase emayini. Manje umnumzane Baloyi uthi lokho kwenzakala kanjani ukuthi uMantshi noDokotela abangakaze bahlangana bona babhale into eyedwa eshoyo ukuthi wena uthi unesifo, uke waba nesifo senhliziyo, kukhulunywa abantu ababini abekade bengakaze bahlangana. Futhi ke uma kubhekwa nasePrimrose kubhaliwe ukuthi wena uye wafika ungalimazwanga, uye wavalelwa laphayana ungalimalanga, nasePhukeng uma kufikwa khona kubhaliwe kuma-OB ukuthi wena ufike ungalimalanga ndawo, kwabhalwa nakhona kuma-OB wakhona. Futhi wena msolo wesibini wena ithema uphana ngobufakazi, uye waphana ngobufakazi bokuthi wena wawukade ufake ivest ebekade inegazi ebelikade libonakala, kodwa uma ufika kuKennel Raphadu nge-19 zikaJuni wena awuzange umbonise leyo leyo vest ebekade inegazi, njengoba bengikade sengishilo ukuthi uKenneth Rappard naye ushilo ukuthi awuzange umbonise ukuthi wena wawukade uchaphazelwe igazi njengoba ufika kuyena. Uthi leyo futhi awuzange umtshele nokuthi wena ungathanda ukuvula icala nokuthi wena ushawe amaphoyisa, njengoba nomsolo wokuqala angazange afune ukuvula icala njengoba wayekade eshawe amaphoyisa. Manje uma siqhubeka ukuthiwa akuzange kube necala elavulelwa lamaphoyisa njengoba wayenikade enishaya nobabini eindaweni ezihlukile emalangeni ahlukile, abazange lawo maphoyisa avulelwe icala. Nina nobabili nithi lezi statement zize sezibhaliwe baniphoqa ukuthi nisayine, kodwa akukho la ukuthi nina niyasho ukuthi niphoqwe ukusayina istatement ezithini. Nina nithi anazi ukuthi kubhalweni kulezo statement. Futhi umbuzo ukuthi uyavela ukuthi kungani amaphoyisa bona beza ngezstatement ukuthi bazibhalele zona lezo statement akuzange kwaziwe ukuthi zibhalweni. Leyo nto leyo uthi umshushisi yinto engakhonakali, akusiyinto engayenzeka esiphoyiseni njengoba nina nichaza. Njengoba uye wachaza msolo wesibini ukuthi uBrigadier Gininda uye wafika eza ngemoto iBMW embekade imhlophe, wafika wahlala phezukwayo kulaye ukuthi uye wakunika istatement. Uthe yena ummeli umnumzana uMkhane hayi ummeli uye wathi leyo moto leyo imoto yenhlobo ka2021. Ngo2020 ngaleli langa uBrigadier Gininda efika, leyo moto leyo yayikade ingakasetshenziswa, ekuchaza ukuthi umshushisi uthi inkantolo ibone ukuthi wena wawukade ulibele ukuguquka ubufakazi bakho akulona iqiniso. Manje ke uma singena kubufakazi beAVL, uthi umshushisi ubufakazi beAVL bubonakalisa ukuthi yonke into emaphoyisa bebakade bayisho kubonakala kuyiqiniso, ngoba umsolo wokuqala uthe yena kuye akuzange kwayiwa ePalm Ridge ukuthi kuye bekuyobonwa inyanga, kodwa iAVL yona iyabonisa ukuthi kuyiwe ePalm Ridge kwayobonwa inyanga, la ukuthi leya nyanga umkhulu ugcine naye seyukuthi uyafakwa estokisini eyohlonywa imibuzo bese bayamthatha bambuyisela emuva. Imoto iyabonisa ukuthi iye yafika ukuya ngalo bufakazi beAVL yafika ePalm Ridge. Futhi ke nongumsolo wesibini njengoba kuphikiswa ubufakazi beAVL kuthiwa iyabonakalisa iAVL ukuthi nge-18 zika June 2020 imoto leyana iToyota Fortuner iye yafika eCarltonville eSibanye Stillwater, la ukuthi bekade kuyofunwa umsolo wesibini nalezinto ebekade ezikhulumile kuye kwayiwa nala ebekade esebenza khona, njengoba kushiwo futhi nakwilokhu njani nakulo kuyagunyuluka ukuthi imoto yona ihambe indlela ezinjani. Futhi ke nge-19 kulaye ukuthi umsolo wesibini uye wahamjiswa wayisiwa eMoroka esiphoyiseni, la kuye kwayogunyuluka khona phambi kwaKenneth Rappard. Kwaqhubekwa futhi kwayiwa eFosloras, kwabuyiwa kwaziwa eMoroka police station, bese kwayiwa ePhukeng. Ngemva kwalokho kwabuyiwa kwaziwa ePrimrose. Lokho kuthathe amahora ukuthi bekade kuhanjwa ntathakusa kwafikela kusukele nge-18 zika June ukufikela nge-20 zika June. iAVL yazibonisa zonke le indlela ukuthi zazikade zihanjwa umsolo wesibini ekhona laphayana emotweni. Futhi lobufakazi beAVL buhambelana nalento ebekade ibhalwe nakwincwadi lezi ezibizwa ama-OB, la ukuthi ubufakazi bona buthi imoto ihambe endleleni ethize naku-OB uma kuyafikwa kuyabhalwa ePhukeng, kuyafikwa kuyabhalwa esiphoyiseni saseMoroka, kuyafikwa kuyabhalwa eFosloras, kuyafikwa kuyabhalwa nasePrimrose, ukubonisa ukuthi njengoba iAVL ithi kuhanjwe kulezo indawo nabo amaphoyisa ama bafika kulezo indawo bayabhala ukuthi bafikile kulezo ndawo. Umsolo wesibini ke yena uthi uma efika kumantshi uKronje yena ngaphambi kokuthi uye ushawe ngemva kokuthi esekagunyulukile kubonakalisi lokho ukuthi kungaba iqiniso ukuthi umuntu angashawa ngemva kokuthi sekagunyulukile bekade eshawelani ngoba bese sekayenzile into njengoba echaza umsolwa kubufakazi bakhe ukuthi amaphoyisa baye bathi ayenze leyo nto leyo. Manje isizathu sokuthi ashawe bese sekuyini ngoba umsolwa yena ushilo ukuthi umnumzana uMkhane ithema balibele bemshaya uye wavimba amaphoyisa. Manje ukubonisa ukuthi umnumzana uMkhane njengoba evimba amaphoyisa, njengoba umnumzana uMkhane esho ethi ubekade emthengela nokudla, futhi kubonisa lokho ukuthi umnumzana uMkhane wayekade kuwumuntu olungile kuyena umsolwa wesibini. Manje asikho isizathu esingayenza ukuthi umnumzana uMkhane eze la enkantolo ethathe isifungo bese uphana ngobufakazi obungasilona iqiniso, ephana ngobufakazi buzofaka untanzi enkingeni ekuthini sonke lesikhathi lesi nangontanzi uyasho naye ukuthi umvikele emaphoyiseni bemshaya, futhi umnumzana uMkhane yena uthi umthengele ukudla, ukubonisa ukuthi wakade kuwumuntu olungile bengeke eze la enkantolo ezophana ngobufakazi obungasilona iqiniso. Manje ke uthi ummeli umshushisi yena uyacela ukuthi konke okubhalwe kulezi incwadi ezama occurrence book kwamukelwe, futhi nomnumzana uMngomezulu uye wavuma wathi lokho akusiyinto ephikiswayo. Kukhulunywe lokho nge-27 zika October nyakenye ukuthi akuphikiswa zonke izinto ezikwi-OB, ekuchaza ukuthi nalokhu kokuthi abasolwa bona bafakwe esitokisini bekade bengalimalanga akusiyizinto eziphikiswayo, njengoba kuthiwa lokho izinto ekuthi aziphikiswa, phecelezi they are not in dispute. Manje ke kuye kwashiwo ukuthi kubhaliwe nalapho kuyincwadi ukuthi lezo incwadi zingahle zithathwe zifakwe njengobufakazi, njengoba kunamaphepha amaningi asewasetshenzisiwe njengobufakazi. Futhi uye wafunda ke umthetho thizeni uma sekaqedelela umnumzana uBhaloyi, wafunda umthetho thizeni ukuthi konke okubhalwe kwincwadi zamaphoyisa i-occurrence book, ama-register lawa asetshenziswayo emaselini nama-pocket book asetshenziswa amaphoyisa, konke okubhalwa lapho umthetho wona uthi kwamele yonke into ebhalwe lapho iyamukelwe eyinkantolo njengobufakazi obuqinile, ubufakazi obuyiqiniso, ngoba akubonakala ukuthi amaphoyisa bangahle babhale izinto ekungasizona ezenzakele. Leso sinqumo leso sathathwa uJudge Mills ekuthi uye wakhuluma kwelinye icala elithizeni. Futhi into ebonakalayo kuleli cala ukuthi yonke into ebekade amaphoyisa bayibhala bekade kuyiqiniso, ngoba bebangenaso isizathu sokuthi bangahle bakhulume amanga ngezinto ekuthi ziyenzakele. Uma sibuyela futhi kummeli uMjiyakho, ummeli uMjiyakho wayekade ekhona laphayana la umsolwa wayekade egonyuluka khona phambi kwamantshi, futhi nasenkantolo ummeli uMjiyakho wayekade ekhona, wafika futhi nasesiphoyiseni ngo-May ku-2020 la ukuthi uye ngo-May ku-2022 la ukuthi uye wayokhulumisana nomsolwa bekade umsolwa yena wafika watshela uBrigadier uGininda ukuthi nangu ummeli wami, etshelwa umsolwa wesibini. Kuye wafika naye uBrigadier Gininda washo ukuthi ummeli ufike ngaziswa mina umsolwa wesibini ukuthi ummeli wakhe njengoba ubekade emazi umsolwa wesibini, nale kumantshi kuthiwa wayekade ekhona ngalesikhathi ugonyuluka. Lo mmeli uMjiyakho kube bekade kunento ebekade ingekho emthethweni eyenzakele laphaya ehhovisi likaMantshi, ukuthiwa ummeli bekwamele aphakame athi cha, Nkosi yenkantolo, lento ewuyibhalayo noma lento esanda kudolikelwa umsolwa ongimmele akulona iqiniso, leyo nto umsolwa akazange ayisho. Kuthiwa futhi ukubonisa ukuthi lezi zinto ebezikade bekubhalwa laphayana bekade kuyiqiniso. Umsolo wesibili, umsolo wokuqala naye ithe ngemva kokuthi afundelwe yonke into ebekade ibhaliwe uye wathi cha ngicela ukuthi la nilungise ngoba niyenze impazamo. Bekazothi kulungiswe njani uma ingabe istatement esilethwe kuye kuthiwa sayinda lesi statement. Impazamo bekazoyibona kanjani uma ingabe bekangafundelwanga lesi statement. Manje uthi umshushisi kubonakala ukuthi umsolwa ufundelwe, umsolwa wokuqala ufundelwe lesi statement, futhi umsolwa wesibili naye kuthiwa lesi statement lesiyana wayekade esazi futhi ayikho into engahambanga ngendlela ukuya ngomthetho ngoba ummeli loyana umjiyakho uye wakhipha naye incwadi ebekade eyinika umantshi ukubonisa ukuthi ungummeli yena ubekade emela umsolo wesibili. Futhi wabonakala nasenkantolo ePhokeng, wabonakala enkantolo nase-Boksburg, wabonakala futhi libele emele umsolwa wesibili. Kuthiwa ke uthi umnumzana uBhalwe uyacela ukuthi ubufakazi bale kuyagonyuluka obukade bulethwe enkantolo bubhalwe umantshi uKronje uthwa kucelwa ukuthi buamukelwe njengobufakazi, futhi kubonakala ukuthi akuzange kube nento eye umnumzana umjiyakho wayiphikisa njengoba kwakade kungenalutho obekade kusolisa khona lapho. Futhi uyacela ukuthi umnumzana uBhalwe uyacela ukuthi bonke lobufakazi lokugunyuluka kwamukelwe yinkantolo njengobufakazi bezinto ezenzakele, izinto ukuthi abasolwa baye batshela amaphoyisa baphinda futhi batshela nomantshi izinto ebezikade ziyenzakala. Manje uyacela umnumzana uBhalwe ukuthi lokho kuthathwe njengobufakazi bezinto ukuthi ziyenzakele, izinto ukuthi ziye zabhalwa ngemva kokuthi zikhulunywe zitolikwe nangabo abasolwa. Ukuya ngomsolo wokuqala akuzange kube notoliki kumaphoyisa ngenxa yokuthi amaphoyisa nomsolo wokuqala bebakade bezwana ngolimi. Ummeli umantshi uKronje kuye kwaba notoliki ngenxa yokuthi umantshi ebekade ekhuluma isingesi, ingakho kuye kwaba notoliki obekade ezotolika lezinto ebezikade zikhulunywa umsolwa. Futhi ke umnumzana uBhalwe uma sekasukuma namhlanje uthi uyacela ukuthi ubufakazi bamukelwe, ubufakazi bamaphoyisa ngoba uKenneth Mbotho yena uye wachaza ukuthi uye waqeqeshwa ukuthi kube uKenneth futhi wabekwa eRandburg. Naye uKenneth Hadebe uye waphanwa ngobufakazi ebubonisayo ukuthi naye wayekade kuumuntu obekanegunya lokuthi angathatha ukugunyuluka noKenneth Rapad naye babonakalisile ukuthi bangaba ngabantu abangathatha ukugonyuluka. Lokho ngamafuphi ikona into ebezikade zikhulunywa umnumzana uBhalwe kulamalanga amabili. Ngithe ngiyisonke ngingathathi imini yonke ngenxa yokuthi nabameli nabo kwamele basazokhuluma bakhulumisana nenkantolo ukuthi bona bathi bacela kwenzakaleni. Kukhona mhlawumbe oyikuthi anizwanga kahle mafethu nizwe. All accused understands, my lord.
Okay,
and I
thanks.
Summarize. Thank you, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Komezulu.
Yes, my lord. My lord, I'll request the court to bear with me because I'm going to make submissions orally.
I thought these were your hits.
Yes, my lord. I was going to supplement some.
Oh, yeah. You
Yes.
already do that. Fine, no problem.
That's correct. And further, my lord, it's an agreement between myself and Mr.
And?
Ramsey Pidi. It's an agreement between myself and Mr. Ramsey Pidi
Yeah.
that I'll make submissions for both accused number 1 and number 2 because I participated in the cross-examination of the state witnesses.
I'm going to allow it, but you know it's not allowed. You know that.
Court pleases, my lord.
Yeah, because you just told this court that your instructions were confirmed exclusively for Mr.
Sibia.
Sibia,
Correct, my lord.
and that his instructions were terminated. by Sibia or legal aid, whatever.
That's correct.
Yeah, but look, I'm just pointing it out so that if it goes anywhere, they mustn't say I wasn't aware of it.
Court, please.
So if you have made that agreement, fine, you can go ahead.
Thank you for the indulgence. May I commence my argument by saying, my lord, accused number 1 was arrested on the 30th of May 2020 in Tembisa. He was arrested by Sergeant Mkhola, Constable Sadike and Constable Buteles at Vusumuzi section. My lord, this is not the arrest of accused number 1 that has been placed on record. During his testimony, he gave evidence that he was arrested on the 19th of March 2019 in Tembisa on the allegations of the death of Senzo Mayu, and he was taken to Chlorocop for interrogation, and he was then released after the officers that were in the office had a discussion, and he was not charged. On the 30th of May 2020, when he was arrested by Sergeant Mkhola, accused number 1 was arrested on the strength of a J50. And it is the evidence by Sergeant Mkhola that she was the investigating officer in the drug case, possession of drugs, under case number 2173 of 2019. When accused number 1 was approached in the execution of the warrant, he was then taken actually Constable Butelezi wanted to find his identity, to prove his identity by asking accused number 1 to produce his identification certificate or document. They went to his shack, so where they gain access to the shack. Accused number 1, at that time, during the arrest, he told the court that he was in company of other 2 gentlemen who were in a particular yard when they spotted a motor vehicle which was parked in the opposite side of the street from where they were standing, and they were approached by the officers. They were approached. Later they discovered that they were the police officers. They were ordered to lie down, and that's when he gave evidence that he was handcuffed from behind when he was on the ground, and he was lifted up with the handcuffs. That's how he was arrested. He was then, as they were going to the place where he resides, they wanted to find out, or they asked, Sergeant Mohola asked, as to who does he reside with in that address or the place where accused number 1 is residing. When accused number 1 was arrested, he was, according to his version or his evidence, sorry my lord, according to his evidence, he was taken to Letabong, a place next to a municipality area where he says he was assaulted and he was interrogated and asked about the death of Senzo Mayu. He was then brought back because the state laid evidence that he wanted to change the trouser on the basis that it was a Brentwood, and Constable Buthelezi even mentioned that that trouser was dirty, and in contrast to what Sergeant Mohola said was that the trouser was expensive. That's why he wanted to change the trouser. The evidence of accused number 1 is that he messed himself up. That's the reason why he wanted to change the trouser. Accused number 1 testified that he was taken to Vosloorus, and that's when he met Brigadier Kininda. Before, my lord, he was taken, before the evidence of taking accused number 1 to Vosloorus, there's evidence by Sergeant Mohola that accused number 1 was taken to Vusimuzi Hostel after he was found with the unlicensed ammunition magazines to give information relating to a firearm. That's where they went to Vusimuzi Hostel. In Vusimuzi Hostel, they spoke to people that were of no assistance because they did not come to testify. What is of essence is that during the cross-examination of Sergeant Mohola, it has been canvassed by the defense that accused number 1, on the arrest that was effected on the 30th of May 2020, was unlawful and wrongful on the basis that the warrant of arrest, the J50, was challenged. The legitimacy of the J50 was challenged by the defense. Before this honorable court, which I will also argue later, my lord, is that there was no evidence presented by Sergeant Mohola, the affidavit to be precise, in support of the application for the granting of the J50 warrant of arrest. That is the submission that I'll also make at a later stage, my lord. The reason why we contend, the defense contends that the arrest was unlawful, it will prove that certain rights of accused number 1 were violated by depriving him of his liberty, which is protected by our South African constitutional law, Act 108 of 1996, precisely under Section 30. Sorry, may I just rephrase that one. My lord, furthermore, during the course of the evidence of Sergeant Mogola, Sergeant Mogola indicated that, or testified that she called Sergeant Monareng to beef up a security so that they can take accused number 1 to Basutwini Hostel. And she further made a call to Brigadier Kininda to say she had a discussion with accused number 1, and it came to her attention as if accused number 1 is making admissions. Then it is her evidence that Brigadier Kininda instructed them to take accused number 1 to Vosloorus police station, where eventually accused number 1 met with Brigadier Kininda. I would like to point it out that when Brigadier Kininda interrogated accused number 1 at Vosloorus police station, there is no evidence before this court that he was in possession of a case docket 63610 of 2014. The evidence
Sorry,
by...
just for my understanding,
Yes.
you can't interrogate somebody or a suspect if you don't have the docket.
That's correct, my lord. That's how I understand
Okay,
law.
fine.
That's correct. The evidence that was given by Brigadier Kininda is that he had, or he was in possession of his diary, where he recorded things that occasioned on the 30th of May 2020 in Vosloorus. The emphasis on the docket and the requirements will later be argued, but what is of essence is that during the interview of accused number 1 by Brigadier Kininda, he was next to the police station. And the material that he could have used got that material from the police station in Vosloorus. This will relate to the warning statement, and this will also relate and be relevant in relation to the SAP 3MM. Then, after the interrogation, after Mr. Kininda or Brigadier Kininda confirmed that it appeared that accused number 1 wanted to make a confession, and he assessed his demeanor, he then made several calls to get an independent person to assist in the taking of a confession. And he managed to get Colonel Mboto, whom he requested to assist. And according to his evidence, Colonel Mboto requested that they should bring accused number 1 to Diepkloof police station. It's evidence before this honorable court that eventually accused number 1 was taken to Diepkloof police station by Colonel Mboto in order to take the alleged confession.
But is that correct, sir?
That's correct, ma'am.
When you say he was taken to Diepkloof police station by Colonel Mboto?
No, I say I rephrased that, my lord, with due respect.
Yeah.
I said sorry, but he was taken to Diepkloof police
Yeah, fine,
station.
fine. I'm just-
Yes.
okay.
Court pleases. After the state led evidence that a confession was taken, then accused number 1 was booked in Villeria. That was now in the early hours of the 31st of May 2020, as per the records of the occurrence. The evidence of Mr. Mukhane or Sergeant Mukhane was that accused number 1 was then charged with possession of unlicensed ammunition and magazine under cast number 1/06/2020. This evidence, sorry my lord, accused number 1, after he was charged, then it appeared that there was an information to be followed up as per the confession or the contents of the confession, to make a follow-up on the traditional healer, and it's evidence that accused number 1 was told to sleep on this so that he will be taken to point out the traditional healer. When accused number 1 was booked out by Sergeant Mukhani, and the investigating officer, Sergeant Mukhola, of the docket 217-03-2019. He was then taken to Pambridge, where the state alleges that he pointed out the traditional healer. And my lord, it's evidence of the state that on the 1st of June 2020, accused number 1 appeared in Tembisa Court, Tembisa South. It was his first appearance. Then the matter was remanded to the 8th of June 2020. The state further led evidence that on the 5th, accused number 1 was booked in Albertine Police Station for the purpose of pointing out a particular place, and the state led evidence of Colonel Khateb, who assisted in the pointing out. My lord, then there was evidence that was led by the state that he was taken to Mahlabatini for the verification of the address, and in the evidence that the state has led, there was a version that was put by accused number 1 to the state witnesses. As the court has permitted me, as per my request, I will get into the arrest of accused number 2, my lord. Accused number 2, Bongani Sandi Sontanzi, was arrested on the 16th of June 2020 in Rustenburg. May I just confirm? Yes, in Rustenburg, my lord. He was arrested by Constable Mabena and Sergeant Mukhane at his place of residence. After he was arrested, he was taken to Pretoria Mort. When he was taken for Pretoria in...
Sorry, is it not something preceding that?
Yes, I'm getting there. I just want to draw the relevance
All
of
right,
it.
okay.
The reason why he was taken there is because they arrested him on the basis that he is involved in the case, the murder case of Kwanongoma under case number 163-10 of, sorry, 163, thank you. It's case number 163-10 of 2018, my lord. And the state led evidence that he was booked in Pretoria Ward, as it has been recorded on the occurrence book that it was a transit, which means he was kept with the purpose of being taken to the place where the offense was committed. He was detained. Then the following day, the 17th, there was an interview of accused number of accused number 2, my lord, in a boardroom where Sergeant Mabena, Sergeant Muhola, and Mr. Mukhane, Sergeant Mukhane, interviewed accused number 2 in relation to his whereabouts on the 26th of October 2014. Accused number 2 told them that if he was not, sorry, my lord, may I just focus on what the state said? Said he was at work, so that's why they had to make a follow-up. He was booked back, but informed that the following day he would be booked out to Carltonville, where accused was employed. On the 18th of June 2020, accused number 2 was booked out to verify the information that he has given to them at his workplace at Silver Mines, Sibanye, Stillwaters. There was evidence led by the state to the effect that they went to his employers and get certain information regarding his whereabouts, and evidence of the state that at a later stage, they were joined by Brigadier Kininda, who was in company of Sergeant Mhola. Sergeant Kininda at that time also interviewed accused number 2, and then Brigadier Kininda and Sergeant Mhola left. Accused number 1 with Sergeant Mukhane and Constable Mabena. Evidence by the state, my lord, further that Sergeant Mukhane, as he was conveying accused number 2, they then drove to Alberton for the purpose of investigating certain other cases. And when they went to Alberton, that's when he was asked confronted during cross-examination about the stoppage next to engine garage, as per the version of accused number 1 at that time. Then Sergeant Mokhane vehemently denied that they stopped near an engine garage, and there were witnesses that were called by the state who also denied being next to an engine garage during the conveyance of accused number 1 in a white Toyota Fortuner. In my the records will prove that Constable Jonathan denied having been next to the engine garage. Constable Buthelezi also denied, including Constable Mapumul. The purpose, my lord, for taking the accused to driving with accused number 2 was canvassed by the defense as to why was he not booked in before you do your own investigations. An answer was given by Sergeant Mohola is that accused number 2 was bored. Mokhane, not Mohola. He was bored, so that's the reason why they had to travel with him. It's evidence that accused number 2 was booked back to Pretoria Mort in the early hours of the 19th of June 2020. It was 20 to 2 in the morning, as per the occurrence book. Few minutes or few hours later, accused number 2 was booked out again. The reason for booking him out, according to the evidence of Sergeant Mokhane, was to take him to Vosloorus, because he was booked out under case number 163 of 10/2018. As they were proceeding to take accused number 2 to Vosloorus, they got a call that they must take accused number 2 to Moroka police station, and Sergeant Mokhane gave evidence that they drove to Moroka police station. And the evidence of the state is that Accused number 2 made a confession in front of or before Colonel Rapat, which has been denied by accused number 2. My Lord, may we adjourn
what time
for a
is it
short-
now?
Yes,
What time is it?
11:15. May I just confirm? 11:17, my Lord.
Okay, come back. What?